Yeah, good morning, students. Today we'll be talking about this data models. What is a data model? Data model is actually the logical structure of a database. Data models, they are fundamental entities to introduce abstraction and DBMS. They define how data is connected to one another and how they are processed and stored inside the system. The very first data model were the flat data models, where all the data were kept on one plane. Earlier data models were not so scientific, hence they were prone to introduce lots of duplication and update anomalies. One of the data models we'll be studying today is the ER model, entity relationship model. Now this is based on the notion of real world entities and relationships among them. While formulating real world scenario into the database model, the ER model creates entity set, relationship set, general attributes and constraints. ER model is best used for the conceptual design of a database. ER model is based on entities and their attributes, relationships among entities. Now these concepts are explained here. In the diagram you can see here we are having two entities. One entity is here, one entity is here, and there is a relationship in between them. Then we have these attributes. Can you see the attributes are being shown by ovals? The entities are shown by rectangles and relationships by diamond boxes. Now, what is an entity? An entity in an ER model is a real-world entity having properties. The properties of an entity are called as attributes. Every attribute is defined by its set of values called domain. For example, in a school database, a student is considered as an entity. Student has various attributes like his name, roll number, age, class, etc. Next, we talk of what is a relationship. The logical association among entities is called as relationship. Relationships are mapped with entities in various ways. Mapping cardinalities define the number of associations between the two entities. Mapping cardinalities are of four types. They are one to one, one to many to one, and many to many. Next, we'll study what is a relational model. The relational model is the most popular data model in DBMS. It is a more scientific model than others. This model is based on first order predicate logic and it defines a table as an NRE relation. Now here we have this student ID, student name, student age, student class section. Now this whole thing from up to down is one column. Now these are the attributes, SID, SNAME, SH, these are the attributes. One row is called as a tuple. Can you see here? One row, this is called as a tuple in brown. And this whole thing is called collection of rows and columns is called as a table. Now the main highlights of this model are data is stored in tables called relations. Relations can be normalized. In normalized relations, values saved are atomic values. Each row in a relation contains a unique value. Each column in a relation contains values from the same domain. Next, we talk about the database schema. What is a schema? It is the skeleton structure that represents the logical view of the entire database. It defines how the data is organized and how the relations among them are associated. It formulates all the constraints that are to be applied on the data. A database schema defines its entities and the relationship among them. It contains a descriptive detail of the database, which can be depicted by means of a schema diagrams. It's the database designers who design the schema to help programmers understand the database and make it useful. Now see, this is the entire architecture of a DBMS. Can you see the physical schema down there? Then in the middle we have the logical schema. Student, student ID, student name, project ID. And on the top level, we are having a different views, view 1, view 2, view 3. And a database schema can be broadly divided into two categories. One is the physical database schema and the second one is the logical database schema. Physical data schema, in this schema pertains to the actual storage of data and its form of storage like files, indices, etc. It defines how the data will be stored in the secondary storage. Logical database schema. This schema defines all the logical constraints that need to be applied on the data stored. It defines tables, views, and integrity constraints. Next is a database instance. It is important that we divide these two terms individually. Database schema means the skeleton of the database. It is designed when the database doesn't exist at all. Once the database is operational, it is very difficult to make any changes to it. A database schema does not contain any data or information. A database instance is a state of operational database with data at any given time. It contains a snapshot of the database. Database instances tend to change with time. A DBMS ensures that its every instance is in a valid state by diligently following the validations, constraints, and conditions that the database designers have imposed. Next, we talk of the DBMS data independence. If a database system is not multi-layered, then it becomes difficult to make any changes in the database system. We talk of data independence. A database system normally contains a lot of data in addition to users' data. For example, it stores data about data known as metadata to locate and retrieve data easily. It is rather difficult to modify or update a set of metadata once it is stored in the database. But as the DBMS expands, it needs to change over time to satisfy the requirements of the users. If the entire data is dependent, it would become a tedious and highly complex job. Now, this is the logical data independence and the physical data independence. Metadata itself allows a layered architecture so that when we change data at one layer, it does not affect the data at another level. This data is independent but mapped to each other. Next, we talk of the logical data independent. Logical data is data about database. That is, it stores information about how data is managed inside. For example, a table stored in the database and all its constraints applied on that relation. Logical data independence is a kind of mechanism which liberalizes itself from actual data stored on the disk. If we do some changes on table format, it should not change the data residing on the disk. Next is physical data independence. All the schemas are logical and the actual data is stored in bit format on the disk. Physical data independence is the power to change the physical data without impacting the scheme or logical data. For example, in case we want to change or upgrade the storage systems itself, suppose we want to replace hard disk with SSD, it should not have any impact on the logical data or schemas. Thank you.